Good Thursday morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. Thanks for joining me. Lots to get to in weather, nothing too ominous, but three things to talk about, I think. We have the lake effect rain showers today becoming more consolidated into true, localized lake effect areas. I'll show that to you. Halloween still has a cutoff low pressure system forming over our area, and then we'll look out into early November as well. So let's get on into it. Let's start with the radar, the actual radar. Remember, I found that over time the models have become so accurate looking to the radar that a lot of you forget radar is real, what has happened and what is happening at the moment, and modeling is what I like to call meteorological fantasy. It's what will happen into the future, and normally it does. All right, so we have a couple of bands of lake effect rainfall, and if you get into these, you're soaked in a hurry. Kalamazoo up toward Holland and South Haven, and then another band north side of Grand Rapids back to Whitehall. And let's jump to northern lower Michigan too. And of course we know that there's a lake effect area typically around the Traverse City region, and that shows up also in Kalkaska. So the Grand Traverse area, the greater Grand Traverse area, that's Leelanau County, Grand Traverse County, Kalkaska, Elk Rapids, you're all into off and on downpours is probably the best way to put it for today. All right, now, what's going to happen? Well, first off, I thought it would be a good idea to get a grip on what is normal or average. Remember, I always say that the average high temperature certain times of the year is just an average of a bunch of extremes over the last 30 years for this date. So what's normal, what's average, what can the sunshine average do at this time of the year? The upper 50s, 57, Saginaw, Flint, Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo area, 58-ish, Ann Arbor and Detroit. Good morning, Larry Pusker and Sterling Heights. And then you go northward, Cadillac, normal high of about 52, Traverse City, 52, 53. The UP averages now about 50 or in the upper 40s. Here's another wider perspective on the rainfall right now, the radar. And so in this one you can see our classic areas. Except for the northeast, you got some showers running through the Alpena area, and those are probably lake effect too. Just at this time of the year with the lakes being so warm, you'll get, little odd areas of lake effect before we get into the true lake effect season. So here's your radar forecast and what you should get out of this. This is a high resolution rapid refresh, so it's being refreshed all the time, running all the time, so I wanted to grab the latest for you. So here is this afternoon to give you a good look. This is 2 o'clock this afternoon. Downpours, they're quick, but if one of these little cells comes into Flint or Saginaw or the southeast, you get 5 minutes of boom, showers. Let's see. Really, guy? That's an interesting, whatever you call it, scream name. I don't have any magic for Halloween, and I'm not saying it's a soaker. I'm saying there's an upper storm system forming over the Great Lakes, which tends to be unsettled weather, but it doesn't necessarily mean that 6-hour period of trick-or-treating will be wet. We'll look at that a little closer. So now we're into tomorrow, and the lake effect is still going around the Traverse City area, and northwest corner. And in the southwest, it's dying out, and the lake effect is breaking down Friday evening and coming to an end. Here's a little bit longer of a perspective on this. So today we got to call it numerous showers around the Traverse City region, numerous showers around South Haven, Holland, and Kalamazoo. Otherwise, it's quick little spurts. Ann Arbor, Detroit, Oakland County, I'd call you mostly dry. Wait out a 5 or 10 minute shower if you see it on the radar. Now we're out to Saturday midday, and it looks like we will be dry, and it looks like a dry weekend. Here's total precip off of that same model, total precip forecast. And again, you could see, Charlevoix area to Kalkaska, maybe up to an inch of rain. There's usually another band that comes in off of Frankfort down through Interlaken and into Wexford County. That could be a ½ inch to an inch. And then a southwest corner one also. But look at Detroit, look at Ann Arbor. Some of those areas don't even have a measurable rain forecast on them. So once you get out of the lake effect belts, you're more dry than wet, is the way I would call it. Let's look at the upper air. And remember why this is so important to us. This is the steering current, in the mid-level of the atmosphere. And it's also a real stable thing to look at. It doesn't go up and down with the heat of the day and whatnot. Sometimes I feel that looks a little confusing to you. But this is 15,000 feet up, and we get the idea of where our weather is coming from. And we know then, does that take on a chilly sense or a wet sense or a warm sense or whatnot? So let's start here. Why do we have lake effect rain right now? Look at that upper level low pressure center over in eastern Canada. The air circulates around it, and with the warm lakes, it's easy to make lake effect. So why doesn't it break down until Friday evening? Right there, that's Friday middle of the night, early Saturday morning. You could see that the height of the atmosphere, the flow of the atmosphere, takes on more of a hump shape, and that stops the lake effect. Now, there is a little bend in the jet stream for the weekend, but it does not appear as though it makes any weather. The storm stays to our south. By the way, there's, I believe it's still Tropical Storm Melissa, but it will likely become Hurricane Melissa. And this is next Tuesday. The storm forming over the eastern U.S. by Wednesday and Thursday will pick up that hurricane and likely put it way out into the Atlantic. Now, this is right there. This is Friday, Halloween, Friday afternoon, Friday evening. So yes, an upper level storm is coming into the Great Lakes around that time, and that can be showery again for several days. And as we go out into November 6th, you're starting to see signs that maybe we go into a little bit warmer of a pattern, but I think these patterns coming along are going to be what we call progressive, in that, a ridge, a warmer, drier ridge may come over us for a couple of days, and then it'll be replaced by a storm system. So we're starting to get into the winter storm track. Now, here is the European model, and what you'd get out of this is that the lake effect continues today, and this is tomorrow afternoon into evening. That's a real good way to show you where you could get a quick shower tomorrow. Not very many places. If you're going to do the fall color touring, tomorrow is a good day also, Saturday and Sunday also. This is Saturday. Okay, this is Saturday afternoon. And it's dry. And this is Sunday afternoon, and Sunday looks beautiful. And this is Monday, dry. And this is Tuesday. So you've got a chance to get some things done outside if you haven't yet. This is October 29th, still dry. Let's look at what it looks like for Halloween. This is Halloween morning into early afternoon into evening, evening into overnight. So as the upper low comes toward us, we may have some showers. And then, of course, that's going to kind of wrap around and be somewhat similar to what we've had the last couple of days, areas of showers. All right, so get ready for some cooler weather. Not what I would call cold for this time of the year, but almost what we would call near normal. I feel maybe slightly cooler than normal on some days, which means highs in the 50s, maybe some days get stuck in the 40s. So this is today. 52, real common temperature. Ann Arbor, the Detroit area, Saginaw, Flint, Bay City, Midland, the Thumb. Grand Rapids, about 50. Traverse City in the mid to upper 40s for highs. Tomorrow, 40s north, even south, maybe struggling to hit 50 degrees in Lansing and whatnot. So we're getting ready here where we got to have definitely a coat on through much of the day. Saturday, back to the low 50s for afternoon. Sunday, back to the low to mid 50s, a couple degrees warmer. Monday, around 50. Tuesday, around 50. Wednesday, about the same. Thursday, 50s. Halloween, high temperature, low 50s east, mid to upper 40s west. Very typical. A little bit cooler as we start November. But really, what I'm finding is that these temperatures are fairly consistent. Turd Ferguson, double rainbows. Yes, I'm going to write about that. The last couple of days have been double rainbow days, and I'll let you know why. Tuesday, November 4th, November 5th, November 6th. So definitely there still is the potential to hit 60 degrees or so as we get into the first week of November. That would not really be too bizarre. Usually happens for a few days. Now, these are the morning low temperatures. So tomorrow morning, you could be frosty down into maybe Ann Arbor, out in the open areas. Saturday morning, I feel, will be our coldest morning widespread to the south. Winds will have died. Clouds will have cleared. Friday will only make it to 50, so we have a good way to get down, say, into the low 30s just about everywhere. Sunday, probably frosty too. And then you're going to see it more common. Monday, frosty. Tuesday, Wednesday maybe comes up a little bit as the storm approaches. Here's Thursday. Here's Halloween morning. And as we get into early November, about as cold as we get is 30 to 32. We don't see any real big cold plunges into the 20s just yet, but it's coming. We do know that, don't we? It's coming. So get ready. Hey, we love winter too in Michigan, right? That's why we live here. We get all 4 seasons, and we've had a great fall. We really have. So there's your weather update. The good news is the weekend looks phenomenal. You better get out there and check the leaves in your favorite rural drive, a hardwood, along a hardwood-lined road, because the leaves look like they're falling fast, and typically by Halloween, with the storm system coming in, the wind will blow off most of the leaves and we'll be done. So take care. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Have yourselves a great day. Bye.